So Intergalactic Space Princess is a hyperactive adventure game about mistaken identity and roaming across the universe. So you play as this girl, Malene, who's dressed up as her favorite cartoon character, Space Princess, and on the way to buy milk, she accidentally gets eaten by a giant space worm and wakes up in an alternate dimension. There, she's mistaken for the real Space Princess, and she's like, the 14-year-old kid that she is, she's like, I'm gonna roll with this. So it's basically like your typical adventure game, but it's got mini games instead of puzzles. And the way that because I love adventure games, but I hate the puzzles. And it's basically like I guess it's like a TV episode, but you get to like spend as much time as you like, or as little time as you like interacting with characters. Like you don't have to do anything. And I just wanted to make it like a really accessible game that kind of, I guess, told a story that would be suitable for me growing up, like 10 years ago, like teenage girls who are like, they're like hating school and everything like that. But it's kind of the game to be like, everything will be okay. Like it sucks for now, but it will get better. And I think there should be more games, I guess, a little bit like that are just like, everything will be better. It's okay to suck now. What it's kind of about is like Malene doesn't really have a lot of friends in her normal world with her family. She doesn't really get along with her family. And when she like wakes up in an alien universe and they mistake her for the real Space Princess, she decides to roll with it. And it's a little bit of, it's a very kind of like coming of age story where she kind of like, at first she's like faking to be this like royal space princess, and then she kind of doubts herself. I feel like she's different from me, even though we have similar origins. Like I think she's the person that I've always wanted to be, whereas there's the real space princess who's kind of like me at the moment, who's kind of like scared of the world and everything like that, whereas Malene kind of like faces her fears. And I don't know, it's more like a message to myself like 10 years ago, where it's like, hey, maybe you can be brave, maybe you can kind of face the world, like it's okay, everything's gonna be fine. And so it's weird in the sense that like a lot of the characters are people from my life, and the origin stories are quite similar, but character-wise, it's very different. And I think Malene is more of a character based on reflection rather than a character of like who you are, because I guess you're shaped by your environment, but it's kind of what you do with it. It's one of those games where it's like, I would have liked it to exist like 10 years ago when I was growing up in school, so I'm kind of making it for myself like 10 years ago. But it is a large game, and it is, I think I did bite off more than I could chew. And so I've just been making a lot of small games, and a lot of them are just like, they're like 2-minute, 5-minute experiences. And a lot of them are to do with like anxiety and like me not being able to deal with people very well. It never really started as a personal game. I was working on a very personal game called All Your Fault, which is like super depressing to work on. It was about victim blaming, so I was just like bogged down like researching this events daily and throwing out like 80% of the stuff and it never being good enough. And so I kind of worked on this like fun little prototype, and I was like, hey, this is fun. I'm just gonna make this like completely silly game that has nothing to do with anything. Like it's literally set in random space, like in alternate dimensions and everything. And it was weird because I'm not much of a writer, but the more I wrote, the more I was just like, I was literally taking characters and sentences that people had said to me and putting them in the game. And I'm like, I'm a walking cliche. but it's kind of like, it's weird how it, while I was working on this game, I went to Sweden for 2 months in this little incubator called Stugan, which is kind of like a little cabin in the woods. And there was like 23 game developers, and we all like went to this remote Swedish forest and just like working on our games, which is really, really magical. Like it was kind of surreal in a lot of ways, and it was nice to just be able to be removed from everything and everything about your life and just have nothing but the game to like focus on. And it's amazing like how much that taught me. Like for example, it was just like you basically have no excuse but to get things done, and that kind of taught me a lot of how to focus and like using like, and for photography, which I could go out to the forest each day, I was able to like improve that dramatically because you basically had no hurdles. And it's weird like how much of when you snap back to reality, how much I guess hurdles that you're just like, oh yeah, I'll just deal with that other thing before turning back to your game, and then your game never gets finished. Whereas this, you've got nothing but the game, and it's very good because it lets you just focus, but it's also very bad because you always go down like one direction, and you don't really know how good it is.